stop and please watch this video. It is absolutely critical. The Christian Renewal Center is a retreat center in Dickinson, Texas, and I need all my prayer warriors to listen to this video and then to begin praying. Offer your daily rosary, offer any illness or suffering you're experiencing, to offer it up for this cause. The Christian Renewal Center is a Catholic retreat center in the Archdiocese of Galveston-Houston. We are a very unique retreat center. In 1960s, the Oblate priests, they started this retreat center, and when they made the decision in the 2000s to leave, the laity did not want to lose this retreat center. Specifically our Acts brothers and sisters, they kind of came together and said, we don't want to lose this. It's the largest capacity retreat center in the Archdiocese, and it's the only Catholic retreat center on the South Side. So because of that, they started the nonprofit CRC Retreat Partners Inc., and they began trying to run the retreats at the Christian Renewal Center and ultimately buy it from the Oblates. Unfortunately, they were never able to get enough money to buy the retreat center from the Oblates. Then the Scantlin Foundation came in. The Scantlin Foundation bought the 52 acres with all the retreat buildings from the Oblates, and they divided the property in half. Half of the property with most of the retreat buildings went to the Archdiocese of Galveston and Houston, and half was retained by the Scantlin Foundation. Now their plan was to ultimately sell some of that land to recoup the investment that they had done. The Scantlin Foundation is a beautiful foundation that supports us here at the Christian Renewal Center, as they support many Catholic ministries in our Archdiocese. So they gifted it to the Archdiocese with the contention that the Archdiocese had to use it for religious purposes. The laity that was running the nonprofit in the Archdiocese came up with a mutual lease that the nonprofit would continue running the retreat center, be financially responsible for managing and making the repairs at the retreat center, but the Archdiocese would own the property. Once again, half of the property was owned by the Scantlin Foundation. The Scantlin Foundation has made the decision, as we all know, 2020 has been a tough financial year. 2021 is not really looking much better for a lot of people. So the Scantlin Foundation has made the decision to sell their tract of land. We're talking about 21 acres of land. When we talk about 21 acres of land, it might just sound like, oh, they have a lot of acreage. They have 52 acres, so you sell so much of it. But how does that impact the retreat center? I'm going to tell you how it impacts the retreat center, how I need your help. I need your prayers, because we need to find the donor so that we are able to raise the funds to purchase the property, to retain it as the Christian Renewal Center. The retreat centers, and I've been at lots of retreat centers that when they sold off property and then neighbors, houses, commercial buildings, residential buildings get built up, the retreat center loses the beautiful outdoor grounds. The CRC is not known as an indoor retreat center. What we are known for is an outdoor retreat center. Our space is known for being prayerful, reflective. We are less than a mile off of the Interstate 45, but because of all the trees on our property, you don't hear Interstate 45. So one, the trees act as a noise barrier. They also act as a protection buffer zone from our current residential neighbors. And at the same time, those same trees give a beautiful, peaceful atmosphere. Anywhere you're at on the Christian Renewal Center property, you kind of look up and there's these beautiful trees. But what would happen is the properties, how it aligns with the current retreat center, if it was sold, you could be in meditation chapel looking out the two beautiful glass sliding doors on each side of the tabernacle, and you literally could start seeing a neighbor right there with their house doing whatever they want to do in their front yard, because that's their front yard. So what we're trying to do is to purchase some or all of the property. Prior to COVID, actually, in January, as we were building and trying to make the retreat center better, one of our neighbors, the only neighbor with a large acreage, they were selling their house, 19 acres, and they were selling a very massive house with it, with some other houses on the property. And I remember thinking, I need to try to raise the money, because once that 19 acres is sold, and right now it's like park-like, wooded, has a pond, it's really beautiful, peaceful grounds, and if we added it, it would be part of the retreat center. But if they sell it, somebody else could come in and do all other types of things that would take away the peaceful atmosphere. So for me, it was really important to create this barrier for the retreat center. When I actually, in the past, like a decade ago, thought about building a retreat center up in Dallas-Fort Worth where I was living, I remember the first thing I would do, because I would buy the farmland, because it's really flat up there and there's not all the trees like you have down here. And my plan was, I need to buy farmland and immediately along the entire perimeter build and plant trees so that it starts to grow up a natural barrier. So a couple things here. So one is it would stop our ability to grow future, where we've been doing outdoor prayer space. The land that we're talking about selling, this is where we wanted to do the wheelchair accessible Stations of the Cross life-size statues. This is also where we wanted the land to build the Rosary Reflection hiking trail, a 30-minute hiking trail that would wrap around the pond. Most of you don't even know the pond exists on our 52 acres. This is also where down near towards the other direction, going towards the side channel of the bayou, we wanted to build the Marion Grotto so groups would have a place to honor Mary that would be private and give the peaceful atmosphere there. It also includes our back road. That back road is where people park for additional parking. Prior to COVID, almost every single weekend that additional parking was being used, and we were trying to figure out how could we create more parking. If we lose that additional parking, that's 20 to 30 souls every single weekend that now we can't accommodate with parking, right? So this is a big deal, because if we lose the back road, though the parking lot's still there, we don't have the road for the people to drive their cars to get to it. This also would be losing our maintenance shop, which is a very, very big thing for us, our maintenance shop. So there's a lot here that we want to make sure that we safeguard for the future of the Christian Renewal Center. So what I need your help doing is helping to spread the word. If you are willing to make a commitment, a pledge, saying, Kim, if you're able to gather this money to buy a part of it, worst case scenario, I want to be able to buy the 6 acres that are closest to us that would have all those things that I just said, that back road, the maintenance shop, the road that leads down to the bayou. That's worst case scenario that I want to buy those 6 acres. I really want to try to buy all 21 acres. We're talking about $1.3 million for all of it. And then as it starts getting smaller, we'd have to see what they would want to do for the other. The Scantlin Foundation has been a really beautiful foundation supporting us at the Christian Renewal Center. They're the reason we were able to start the Spiritual Companion Program. They're the reason we started doing those CRC events where we had the Priest of Miles Christi, Dr. John Bergsma's annual Bible conference, the parent and the kid retreats. This is where that funding started, the seed money to allow us to do it. Scantlin Foundation also has recently funded our missionary program. At the same time, the Archdiocese, we have their support. They're trying to help us, but at the same time, we know the Archdiocese doesn't have additional funding. We know because of Hurricane Harvey, the Archdiocese was hurt drastically, and we know that many parishioners are still working on the Ignite campaign. So this is where I'm talking. I need you to come and step up. I need to go above and beyond. I need you to spread the word. So if you're willing to help us either make a donation to the Christian Renewal Center, and obviously that donation starts to help us build up our money, or you can send me a thing saying, Kim, I'm going to give you a pledge. I'm going to do a tax rollover of $10,000 if you're able to buy part of it. So there's a lot of moving features here. The Scantlin Foundation just let me know that they were going to be we've been working for like the last year on this, and they let me know that they're going to be putting the listing sign out to start listing it. So I've asked for a lot. I know many of you're used to me begging for money. I really want to say this is about the future of the Christian Renewal Center. If you love coming out here and seeing the retreats and experiencing nature, then we need your help to keep that here for future generations. You know, if the front 20 acres get sold, our noise will drastically be changed. If people build houses all along the bayou side channel, our environment will drastically change. So these are things that could happen in the future, but for us to take care of the future, we got to do it now. So I'm asking each of you to please pray for the Christian Renewal Center. Pray that donors come forward. I need you also to consider what can you do, how can you step it up, and I want to invite you to share this video. I'm going to be putting more videos together, but I want to get this out there now. If you would commit every single day to make a daily offering to the Christian Renewal Center, whether that be a rosary, a prayer time, whatever illness or injury you're going through, suffering, please offer it up for the Christian Renewal Center. This is really, really important, and I believe it's for the future of the Christian Renewal Center. I've been at retreat centers where you're on the grounds and you're experiencing like the Stations of the Cross. You're literally experiencing our Lord's Passion, and you then see the neighbor in the backyard having a pool party. It is very hard for somebody to stay in that moment. That takes a very mature Christian to block out all the external noise to focus on the internal of what God is saying to them. We already have so much internal noise that it's hard to block out the internal, let alone the external. And so for us, we want to make sure that we give the best environment for people to be able to connect with God. The Christian Renewal Center, our mission is to draw people into a relationship with Jesus Christ and His church through retreat ministry. And that ministry here at the Christian Renewal Center, so much of that has to do with our grounds, where people are able to go and have a peaceful environment, where people are able to go and be with God. And I know that some of those future prayer spaces that we were wanting to create, just like we created the fishes and loaves, those future prayer spaces of the Rosary Trail, the Marion Grotto, that wheelchair accessible large size Stations of the Cross, these were things that were so exciting and for us to move forward. But for us to do that, we need to own this land. So I want to invite you to help me on this journey, really saving the Christian Renewal Center and the future of it. Thank you so much, and God bless.